Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I want to talk to you about something real, something raw, something that can save you from heartbreak, betrayal, and how many people have fallen because they put faith in the wrong hands. How many dreams were destroyed because someone trusted the wrong voice. I'm not saying don't trust at all. I'm saying don't do it blindly. Don't hand over your loyalty without proof. Don't let words fool you. Watch the actions. Because words can be rehearsed, but actions show the truth. So tonight I want to give you 7 truths. 7 lessons that will keep you from being fooled, played. Trust is not given, it's earned. Trust is a currency. You don't just give it away. You don't hand it out like free samples. You make people earn it. But too many people go through life handing out trust like candy, and then they wonder why they get hurt. They wonder why they feel used, betrayed, broken. The answer is simple. They didn't make trust a process. They made it a giveaway. You see, trust is built through time, through actions, through consistency. It's not about what someone says in one moment. It's about what they do over many moments. If someone shows up when you need them, if they prove their loyalty through action, then they earn your trust. But if you trust someone just because they have a good smile, just because they say the right words, you're setting yourself up for failure. Some people don't deserve your trust. That's a hard pill to swallow, but it's the truth. Some people will lie, some will manipulate, some will pretend to be everything you need just to get what they want. And if you don't make trust something earned, you'll never see the betrayal coming. The problem is people want to believe in the best of others. That's not a bad thing, it's human nature. But being hopeful doesn't mean being naive. Hope without wisdom is dangerous, because the moment you give trust away too easily, you put a target on your back. You make yourself vulnerable. And not everyone who smiles at you has good intentions. So let me tell you this, trust is not a right, it's a privilege. It's not a door that's always open. It's a lock that requires a key. And that key is proof. Proof through action, proof through consistency, proof through time. Because in the end, the only people who deserve your trust are the ones who earn it. People show you who they are, believe them. People are not as complicated as they seem. They show you who they are. The problem is, we don't always want to believe it. We make excuses. We ignore the red flags. We tell ourselves, maybe they didn't mean it. Maybe they were just having a bad day. Maybe they'll change. But let me tell you something. When someone shows you their true colors, believe them the first time. You see, patterns don't lie. If someone disrespects you once, they'll do it again. If someone lies to you once, they'll do it again. If someone betrays you once, they'll do it again. Because behavior repeats. People reveal themselves in the little things. How they talk about others, how they handle conflict, how they react when they don't get their way. If you pay attention, the truth is right there in front of you. The reason we ignore the signs is because we want to believe in people. We get attached. We don't want to lose them. But let me ask you this. What's worse? Losing someone who was never good for you, or keeping someone close who's only going to hurt you again and again? There's a saying, when a snake bites you, don't blame the snake, blame yourself for picking it up. And that's the hard truth. When someone shows you who they are, When they lie, when they cheat, when they betray, believe them. Don't justify it. Don't explain it away. Don't wait for it to happen again. Because in the end, the only person who can protect you is you. And the only way to do that is to open your eyes and see people for who they really are. Betrayal always comes from those closest to you. The ones who hurt you the most are never strangers. They are the ones closest to your heart. The ones who know your weaknesses. The ones you trust the most. And that's what makes betrayal cut so deep. It's not the enemy you see coming. It's the friend you never saw as a threat. The truth is, not everyone in your circle is in your corner. Some people stay close, not because they love you, but because they want something from you. Some will smile in your face and stab you in the back the moment they get the chance. And what makes it worse? You let them in. You gave them the power to hurt you. And let me tell you, betrayal doesn't come with a warning. It doesn't announce itself. It creeps in. It disguises itself as love, as friendship, as loyalty, and then one day it strikes. And when it does, it doesn't just break your trust. It breaks a piece of you. But here's what you need to understand. Betrayal is a lesson. It teaches you who's real and who's not. It teaches you who deserves your energy and who doesn't. It teaches you to be more careful with your trust, because once you've been betrayed, you learn the value of protecting yourself. So don't take betrayal as a loss, take it as a lesson. A painful one, yes, but one that will make you wiser, stronger, and more careful about who you let into your heart. Emotions blind you, wisdom protects you. Emotions are powerful. They can lift you up or they can destroy you. When you trust someone blindly, more often than not, it's because your emotions are in control. Love, hope, desperation, they can all make you see what you want to see instead of what's really there. And that's dangerous. Because when emotions take over, wisdom takes a back seat. You ignore the signs, you justify the red flags, you convince yourself that things will get better, that people will change. But let me tell you something, they won't. You see, wisdom is what keeps you from walking into a trap. It's what keeps you from making the same mistake twice. But wisdom only works when you use it. And the problem is, people don't want to listen to wisdom when their heart is leading the way. They don't want to face the truth, because truth is painful. It forces you to let go of things you want to hold on to. It forces you to see people for who they really are, not who you wish they were. Have you ever looked back at a situation and thought, I should have seen that coming? Of course you have. We all have. Because deep down, you did see it coming. You just didn't want to believe it. That's what emotions do. They cloud your judgment. They make you ignore reality. But ignoring reality doesn't change it. It just delays the inevitable. And when the truth finally hits, it hits hard. So what's the answer? Balance. You can't shut off your emotions completely. That's not the goal. But you can control them. You can take a step back before making decisions. You can ask yourself, am I thinking with my heart or my head? Because when emotions run the show, you end up trusting the wrong people, making the wrong choices and paying the price. But when wisdom steps in, you see things clearly. And when you see things clearly, you protect yourself. Wisdom is your shield. It keeps you from falling into the same traps. It teaches you to wait, to watch, to observe before you commit. It teaches you that trust is not something you feel, it's something you prove. And if someone hasn't proven themselves, if their actions don't match their words, then your emotions have no business giving them the benefit of the doubt. So the next time you feel yourself rushing to trust, stop. Breathe. Look past your emotions. Let wisdom guide you. Because emotions may feel good in the moment, but wisdom will protect you for a lifetime. Even good people can hurt you. Not every betrayal comes from a villain. Sometimes it comes from someone you love, someone with a good heart, someone who never meant to hurt you, but did anyway. And that's what makes it even harder to accept, because we expect pain from enemies. We don't expect it from friends. We don't expect it from family. We don't expect it from people we thought would never let us down. But let me tell you something. Good intentions don't erase bad actions. Someone can love you and still hurt you. Someone can care about you and still break your trust. Someone can be a good person and still make bad choices. And if you're not careful, you'll excuse the pain just because you know they didn't mean to cause it. But meaning well doesn't undo the damage. The problem is we hold on to people based on who they used to be. We hold on to the memories, the moments, the good times. And because of that, we convince ourselves that they deserve another chance, that they deserve our trust, even when their actions say otherwise. But trust is not about who someone was. It's about who they are now. And if someone's actions keep hurting you, it doesn't matter how good they were in the past. What matters is what they're doing now. So what do you do when a good person lets you down? You accept the truth. You don't sugarcoat it. You don't pretend like it didn't happen. You don't let your history with them make excuses for their behavior. You acknowledge that even the best people are capable of hurting you. And then you decide what's best for you, not for them, not for your past, but for you. Because at the end of the day, trust isn't about feelings, it's about patterns. And if someone, no matter how much you love them, keeps breaking your trust, you have to make a choice. You can keep holding on, hoping they'll change, or you can accept that some people, no matter how much they love you, will never love you the right way. So don't let guilt keep you in a place of pain. Don't let history make you blind to reality. And don't let good intentions convince you to ignore bad behavior. Even good people can hurt you, and sometimes the only way to protect yourself is to let them go. Keep your guard up, but don't shut people out. After betrayal, after heartbreak, after disappointment, it's easy to put up walls, to trust no one, to assume that everyone will hurt you eventually. But that's not the answer. Because life is not meant to be lived in fear. It's not meant to be lived alone. Yes, people can hurt you, but people can also love you, support you, stand by you when no one else will. And if you shut everyone out, you'll miss out on the ones who were meant to stay. The key is balance. You don't have to be naive, but you don't have to be bitter either. You don't have to trust blindly, but you don't have to assume the worst of everyone you meet. You can be cautious without being cold. You can protect yourself without pushing away the people who actually deserve to be in your life. So how do you do that? You set boundaries. You let people prove themselves before you give them access to your trust, your heart, your life. You don't let past pain make decisions for you. You let wisdom do that. And most importantly, you watch people. You don't just listen to what they say, you watch what they do. Because actions will always tell the truth. You see, trust is like a door. You don't leave it wide open for anyone to walk through, but you don't keep it locked forever either. You let the right ones in, and you keep the wrong ones out. And the way you tell the difference? Time, observation, patterns. Because people will always show you who they are if you give it time. The truth is, the world is full of both good and bad people. Some will lift you up, some will tear you down. Some will stand by your side and some will walk away the moment things get tough. Your job is not to assume the worst of everyone. Your job is to be wise enough to tell the difference. So keep your guard up, but don't build a fortress. Stay cautious, but don't live in fear. Because yes, trust is dangerous. But without it, you miss out on the very thing that makes life worth living: real connections. Your greatest strength is knowing when to walk away. There's power in knowing when to leave. Power in recognizing when a situation, a relationship, a friendship, or a partnership is no longer serving you. But too many people stay too long. Too many people hold on to what's already broken, hoping that if they just give it more time, more effort, more love, it'll fix itself. But let me tell you something. Some things are not meant to be fixed. Some people are not meant to be in your life forever. And the longer you hold on, the more damage you do to yourself. Walking away is not weakness, it is strength. Strength to choose yourself. Strength to say, I deserve better. Strength to refuse to settle for less than you know you're worth. But the problem is, people are afraid. Afraid of being alone. Afraid of what others will say. Afraid of starting over. So they stay. They stay in toxic friendships. They stay in abusive relationships. They stay in situations that drain them, break them, and destroy their peace. All because they don't want to face the unknown. But let me ask you this. What's worse? The fear of the unknown, or staying in a place where you're constantly being hurt? Staying in a place where your trust is taken for granted? Staying in a place where you're giving and giving but getting nothing in return? Because let me tell you something, nothing will change until you change. Nothing will get better until you decide that you've had enough. Some people will never appreciate you until you're gone. Some people will never see your worth until they no longer have access to you. And that's okay. That's their lesson to learn. But your lesson is knowing when to stop waiting for people to change. Knowing when to stop expecting loyalty from people who have already shown you that they can't be trusted. Knowing when to walk away with your head held high. And let me be clear, walking away doesn't mean you hate them. It doesn't mean you wish them harm. It just means you love yourself enough to stop allowing them to hurt you. It means you respect yourself enough to know that you deserve better. And if someone cannot treat you with the respect, loyalty, and honesty that you give to them, then you owe it to yourself to leave. Not with anger, not with bitterness, but with wisdom. Because at the end of the day, your greatest strength is not how much pain you can endure. It's not how long you can hold on. Your greatest strength is knowing when to walk away. Ladies and gentlemen, life will test you. People will test you. Trust will be broken, loyalty will be questioned, and at some point you will find yourself face to face with betrayal. That's just the way this world works. But here's what I want you to remember. Never trust anyone blindly. Not because you should live in fear, but because you should live in wisdom. Trust is not a gift. It's a process. It's something that must be earned, something that must be proven. And if someone has not proven themselves, they do not deserve access to your heart, your loyalty, or your time. Because time is precious. Your energy is precious. You are precious. And the last thing you should ever do is waste yourself on people who don't deserve you. So be wise. Watch actions, not words. Protect your peace. Set boundaries. And most of all, know when to walk away. Because in this life, the people you trust can either lift you up or tear you down. And the only way to make sure you're surrounded by the right people, never trust anyone blindly. Thank you.